With the introduction of Borderlands 4's first raid boss, I wanted to go ahead and make a video talking about some weapons that are pretty darn good against this boss inside of this fight. And this fight specifically is definitely the hardest one inside of the game, especially on UVHM6. You're definitely going to be required to have on meta gear, along with a good build, especially if you want to get platinum runs. And I'll be honest, getting platinum runs, at least consistently, it takes a bit of work. So if you feel like you're getting your butt kicked, don't feel too bad. You might just need to go farm up some better gear or relocate some skill points. Now, when talking about this fight in particular, yeah, we can talk about weapons that do good damage to the boss itself, but I feel like something that is very important to highlight and talk about is weapons that are good against the actual crystals, because these crystals, they are ridiculously tanky. They have a lot of health. Before you can even touch the boss, you have to pop all the crystals, and not only that, you also have to get rid of the little vile ordnance orbs that spawn from them when you crack them. Otherwise, they're just going to replant and repop up. So what are weapons that we can use to pop these crystals? Well, if you have any sort of build that is focused on getting yourself just raw crit chance, weapons with a Jacob's license accessory are very good, because ricochets will hit the other nearby crystals, allowing you to do damage to multiple of them while still only having to shoot one. However, I would say 4 weapons that are pretty good for this. Obviously, the bod's one of them, go figure. But a well-spec golden god with Jacobs will be able to do some nice work against these crystals, mainly due to the fact that a well-spec golden god, especially on Rafa, will always be able to fire. And if you have a Quicksilver, you'll always be doing guaranteed crits, therefore allowing you to get ricochets for free. Just holding down the trigger, you're never gonna have to reload, it's never gonna overheat, and you're getting guaranteed crits. It makes sense why the weapon is good against the crystals. Against the boss itself, it can get the job done, but it's not the fastest. It's never been the fastest boss weapon, and since this boss fight is timed in terms of how good your rewards will be, I would say the golden god against the boss itself, not the best, but great against the crystals, so long that you are actually spec'd into it. And remember guys, for any weapons that we are talking about in this video, I have made lots of videos talking about these weapons, whether it's a list video or their own individual showcase. So if you want to know about where to get some of these weapons that we're talking about, check the end screens. I got you covered, boss man. However, if I'm being honest, a weapon that's even better for the crystals would probably be the Dark Beast, the Daedalus weapon. Yes. The reason why is because this legendary SMG has built-in piercing capabilities through its legendary perk, which means if you line it up, you'll be able to shoot multiple of these crystals at once. On top of that, there's a 20% chance to do an explosion every single shot. And on top of that, it can roll with a Jacob's license accessory, becoming the best in slot for this very specific niche, which is Bloomreaper crystal breaking in phase 1. Seriously though, if you are having trouble with the crystals, I highly recommend the Dark Beast SMG. Best in slot for doing this, in my opinion. Oh, and if you thought a Whiskey Foxtrot with the Ripper bag and Jacob's license accessory was good against the crystals, it's not. I already tried. Now, I have a few weapons here that I do want to talk about that I think are pretty dang good against this boss once you get past the crystals. But getting your platinum runs, I will be honest, the best weapon easily is a ceramic bod. This is going to be the bod with the Daedalus SMG and the Torg Sticky's license accessory. There's just nothing that quite compares to what the bod is able to do. So I figured I'd just mention that real quick, but not everyone does have God Roll bod. Now, do they? So we're going to talk about some other alternative weapons. Although I will be real with you, you will struggle without that bod. You can feel the difference in using the bod versus this boss and using just about every other weapon. However, there are still some weapons here that have some potential. First things up, we'll stay with the shotties here. The Hellwalker, specifically on Harlow, since you're able to fire it multiple times in a row without having to reload it, I feel like there is some potential here. Is it going to be a platinum run weapon? I feel like it definitely can be, although you definitely need to string together quite the amount of shots without reloading for it to really catch up with the time. Otherwise, that reloading in between every shot will definitely start to cost you and you will feel it. But because this is a flesh bar enemy and this is a fire shotgun that has inherently high damage, this is going to be a great weapon to use for Bloomreaper, and especially if you are able to get critical hits often or be able to fire it a lot of times in a row without having to reload it, this weapon will definitely serve you well. And it's obviously way easier to farm than a bod because it is a static rolled weapon. Now, next up, we do have ourselves a heater. This is a weapon that does require a little bit more farming, as there needs to be a little bit of RNG to go your way, but the 7th Sense Jacob's pistol is an absolute unit. And in this boss fight, it's actually pretty darn good against the crystals, just due to how this gun works with its legendary perk spawning orbs, and those orbs rain down once you reload the weapon. And if you are able to get this weapon with the dataless shotgun alternate ammo type, you will be in business. This makes this weapon the only masher inside of Borderlands 4, especially with its legendary perk. It's really, really strong. This thing can absolutely dunk on any of the just trash mobs that spawn on you. And in terms of doing boss damage to Bloomreaper itself, it's pretty darn good. You do want to try and shoot it in its underbelly area just so you're not getting absorbed spot popping up on your screen. You want to actually, hit damage numbers. You want to hit crits, and seeing that absorb pop up over and over again, that's not very working well in our favor now, is it, big dog? I always like to compare this weapon to the Maggie. So if you're a person that likes the Maggie from previous entries into this franchise, you'll definitely like the 7th Sense Masher with a dataless shotgun alternate ammo type. This weapon does drop from side quest boss. They are the experiments from the below the surface side quests over in Dominion, the Terminus District. Well, this is one of the few weapons that is good against this boss in all categories. It's good against the crystal face, it's good against the boss itself, so it gets a mention inside of this video. Now, the next weapon is a recent new addition to the Borderlands 4 family, okay? So what we have here is the Vault Card legendary sniper rifle, the Rooker. And the reason why I'm talking about the Rooker is because of its alternate needles. So these alternate needles, if you didn't know, whenever you shoot them, they will inherit all of any damage buffs or bonuses you may have ready to go, whether it's the Dead by Daylight, 3 out of 3 firmware bonus, whether it's amp on your shield and on your rep kit, whatever it may be, these needles will inherit those buffs. And these needles are absolutely disgusting with how much damage they are able to do, especially if you are on Sniper Vex. These needles have the ability to proc bleed over and over and over again, but the weapon is coded to be like that. These seekers are going to go wherever your cursor is in terms of homing. So as long as you're looking at the boss, they will attack the boss over and over and over again. And if you are one that has a Jacob's license accessory, whenever they crit and ricochet, they actually spawn another one of these needles, these strong homing seekers that inherit all of these buffs when you shoot it. And as a nice little bonus, the cooldown on these needles are very, very short. Like, you can have them roaming around. By the time the next charge of them is ready to be fired, they are very, very high in the uptime category, and that is something that we're happily going to take. And once again, this being a Vault Card weapon is a very easy way to go farm it. And ideally, you get a little bit of love, a little bit of luck whenever you do pull for it. Hopefully you get that Jacob's license accessory. Like I said at the beginning of the video, man, Jacob's license accessory is just a monster still. It's great in this boss, who would have thought? And if you are a person who mains Vex and you don't have a bod, giving the Rooker a spin might just be what you need to do. The potential is there, and definitely an option and a weapon worth checking out if you are struggling, especially if you main a Vex. All right, now this next weapon has a little bit of special place in my heart. It's the Kaoson. It's my favorite SMG. We know this. And I have this live clip that I'm going to let play out here in a bit of me trying to get a platinum run, but dude, it's getting a platinum run with the Kaoson is so much more finicky than with the bod, because you almost have to preload your stickies. So they're going off essentially as soon as the boss becomes damageable, gets him to his next immunity phase as fast as possible, reproc your action skill, and then prime up the boss again. It's just a lot of work micromanaging. Honestly, something that I've kind of felt like in like a Destiny 2 low man, low key. It can definitely get a platinum run, but man, is it a lot of work and is it tight. All right, everybody, so we're gonna go try and give ourselves a nice run here, and we're going to try and essentially get our platinum run in with a Kaoson, a very fan favorite SMG, as we all know. And we just got to be very precarious, very careful here with this first crystal phase, as the crystal phase can be a little bit tricky, especially if I'm falling off the map like I am right now. We just have to make sure that we got to pre-stack stickies, right? Like, so the Kaoson, it doesn't have like the raw power of like the bod, so it doesn't quite do what the bod does in terms of how fast you can stack your stickies, which is chill. It's all Gucci. Where are you gonna go? Okay, there. That's fine. Oh, that's not fine. And I'm just going to get away from that. And then I'm going to try and keep up this action skill, actually, with just some Jacob's ricochets. Actually, no, I'm gonna let it fall off. I'm gonna, no, 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 no. Okay, well, that's not how you want to get a platinum run. That's not how you do it, dude. Come on, I don't have the thing. I don't have a thing. Oh my god, no. Video game. Of course, dude. Oh my god, please. I know, definitely not my best work, but at least gives an example of what I'm trying to get across here. The Kaoson can definitely do platinum runs, but it takes a lot more effort and a lot more micromanaging. That is why we have saved BOD for last. Best weapon in the game. As we know, the BOD stands for bullying on demand, as it bullies every single enemy in this entire game that it comes across, whether it's a raid boss at the highest level or just a small red bar creep. Like, it doesn't matter, the BOD is going to wreck shop, run the smoke. It has hands, the strongest hands. It's the BOD, farm from Axmal. If you want platinum runs, the easiest way, the BOD is your weapon. This is the weapon that you got to use if you want platinum runs the easiest way, at least right now. I know it kind of seems anticlimactic, kind of boring, because like we know how good the BOD has been for a minute now, but the facts are the facts, dude. And there we have it. These weapons are some of the best to use inside of the Bloomreaper raid boss fight that I know of right now. If there's any other heater weapons that pop up with a crazy combo later on in the future, especially when we get new weapons, I got y'all. We'll make videos on those weapons versus this boss. But for right now, this is what we have to work with. As always, I would like to give a quick shout out to our channel members. If you ever want to get your name mentioned in videos, guys, all you have to do is become a tier 1 member of the channel. Get your name mentioned in some videos. KJ42 is our tier 3 member at the Super Saiyan tier, which is the highest tier, which is insane. Much love, much love. Hope you're doing well, brother man. Thank you so much for the continued support. Pikachu is our longest tenured member, going on 10 months, which is really crazy. We're getting closer and closer to a year. Hope you're doing well. And Perplexity is our newest member, coming in at tier 2, the Kaoken times 10 tier. Yes, yes, yes. Appreciate the support, brother man. Hope you're enjoying the raid boss. Thank you so much for going the extra mile. You're the man. Guys, comment down below your thoughts and opinions on this raid boss. Thank you so much for watching the video. Y'all have a great day. See you in the next one. Adios.